Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto news and analysis. And today we are going to be talking about Hedera and HBAR. And before we fully dive into this video, I just want to let everybody out there know that down in the description below, as well as in the comments below, I'm going to be extremely active over on Patreon, probably for the next, I want to say, week or so. I highly suggest everybody go check it out if you guys haven't already. I have a small tier which is about $8 per month. There's going to be a lot of activity in there. Just to give you guys a quick little update on what I'm going to be focusing on a little bit over the next couple days. A lot of very valuable content will be posted in there, so keep a close eye on that if you guys are a Patreon member or if you are looking into becoming one. But with that being said, I do have a lot to talk about with Hedera today. I do think that we are on the edge of a major shift happening around HBAR. You know, for the longest time, everybody has been focused on the price action, which is totally understandable. I get it. Remember, investing is supposed to be boring. Investing is supposed to be, you know, a long-term sort of thing. So as we do look at a lot of these assets and more so, you know, looking at them as investments, it's going to take some time. As we do look at HBAR, it did do very well during 2020 and 2021, although a lot of people want to look at it as it didn't really do all that well. If you were an early investor during 2020, then yes, this thing did do very well. It did probably roughly, for most people, a 10, 20, 30, possibly 50x return if you did get in on the low end back here in the beginning of 2020. But nonetheless, today is a different day. That was well over 3 years ago now. And as we do look at this market now, you know, we have seen Hedera mature greatly. I do think that HBAR is getting overlooked greatly within this market due to the price action of 2020 and 2021. I think a lot of people thought more price action was going to ensue, but it didn't. But I do think that that's also because there wasn't a lot of substance back then. But also, I think a lot of people look at HBAR as a centralized entity, but it's really not a centralized network at all. When we look at the GC makes me very bullish because I even said it in the past, you don't get mass adoption without a little bit of centralization. And the best part is that Hedera is doing things a little bit different with the GC. It's centralized technically by the names, but it's decentralized fully by the actual different names that are tied to it. Meaning you have these names that are fully different in terms of the jurisdictions and also the sectors that they are focused on, and also by location. So technically the GC has centralized entities on it, but it's fully decentralized. So that makes me very bullish because a lot of the names that are tied to Hedera are very large names. I even broke down FIS yesterday. We also have Google, LG, and there's so many more. Now, also, HBAR is going to most likely get listed on a few other exchanges. There's still a lot of top tier exchanges still left to list HBAR, but it is on some of the most major exchanges out there like Binance, Coinbase, KuCoin, etc. And also, as we do look at what's happening, let's go over here. So check this out. Hedera transactions, 1.1K TPS. This is absolutely insane to me. As we look at the mainnet, yes, I think that this is also a statistic that is getting overlooked, and it's also something that a lot of people are undermining because they don't think that's creating value for the mainnet. The thing is that as we do look at these transactions, as we look at the TPS here, yes, it's not demanding a massive amount of HBAR, so the value is not changing at the current moment. But this is off of one live use case. Imagine 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different use cases here, which is probably going to happen within the next couple of years, I would say. But even in the short term, I think that there's going to be a lot more enterprise grade use cases going live, and you know the demand could significantly be different. You know, this is one use case that is centered on, you know, things that are not extremely high TPS demanding. But imagine you have, you know, an enterprise grade application that goes live that is in, we'll say, ServiceNow, right? Which is servicing 80% of the Fortune 500 brands. That itself will demand a ton of transactional load from the mainnet. So as we do look at this, like, I am very bullish on the mainnet. I do think that the mainnet will soon create a lot of value for Hedera, and the HBAR token will have a lot more demand as well. And when that does happen, well, you're going to want to be on the rocket ship because it's going to take off. Now, also outside of this, there is a lot more happening around development. Remember what I said, going all the way back to 2020 and 2021, there was not a lot of substance. Now we actually have a lot of substance. The one use case I'm very excited about, which we've been focused on for so long, there was actually a lot of speculation here if Red Swan was still utilizing Hedera or not. Well, guess what? We actually have confirmation that they are still. Here's from Red Swan themselves saying, we are incredibly excited about the opportunity to build our token studio on Hedera to broaden the accessibility of commercial real estate investing by utilizing tokenization. This is a big deal. So, within this, actually, I already have this open up in a new tab. We're excited to announce that Red Swan CRE, the commercial real estate company with $5 billion in assets under management, is launching its token studio on Hedera for real world asset tokenization. What's crazy about this is that they have $5 billion in assets under management. Hedera's market cap today is only almost 6 billion. That's wild to me. But nonetheless, we do see tokenization of real estate assets enables increased liquidity, fairer market prices, and a reduction in management fees. This in turn enables increased market participation and lower cost whilst upholding the inherent security benefits of the blockchain. Through the token studio, retail users will be able to participate in creating and investing in digital security tokenized assets. By fractionalizing these assets, the studio allows users to access pieces of commercial real estate that have traditionally been out of reach. As pioneers in a rapidly growing field, it was essential for Red Swan that they could be dynamic to any regulatory changes. This is where optional KYC and AML on the Hedera token service, HTS, proved crucial, enabling Red Swan to issue their tokens as securities as well as adjust their product offering in line with regulatory bodies. Alongside this, Red Swan can also issue ERC-20 compliant securities thanks to the EVM-compatible Hedera Smart Contract Service, HSCS. The token standard for creating compliant digital securities will be open source code for the Hedera community available in GitHub. You can learn more about Red Swan, CRE, and real-world asset tokenization in their latest blog. And when we actually go over here, we do know that guess what? Last year, Boston Consulting Group predicted that $16 trillion, that's right, $16 trillion in assets could be tokenized by 2030. That is 7 years. Technically 6.5. That is wild to me because this is going to happen pretty quickly. And once it does start to really kind of flood into this space, these tokens like HBAR and XRP and so many other great ones within the space are going to generate a ton of value. I'm so excited about this. What do you see? With real estate being the largest asset class, BCG is just one of several firms like JP Morgan, Citibank, and Goldman Sachs that identify that rapid tokenization of industries like real estate, which is a $300 trillion plus asset class, fund management, and are as key areas of growth. Tokenization of real estate assets includes increased liquidity, fairer market prices, and reduction in management fees, which we just went over. I think that this is huge. First off, one, I think that this is great. Two, I love tokenization of real estate. I told you guys how great of an opportunity it really is for a lot of these assets and this technology. I think that this is great. I think that this is awesome. And I'm so excited for this use case because this is going to take over the real estate game over the next course of, we'll say 5, 10, maybe even 15 years. And I could just imagine how much more money is going to flow into these incredible networks that are allowing this to become a reality. And when you see the team at Red Swan has 65 plus years of combined private equity, real estate, and technology commerce experience and currently has $5 billion in tokenized assets with an expectation of growing to $25 billion in the next 36 months. So let's think about that. In the next 3 years, they want to add another $20 billion worth of tokenized assets to their portfolio. That's huge. That is massive. And when you see that Red Swan decided to leverage Hedera for its highly optimized and built for purpose Hedera token service that allows RWAs to be tokenized with a best-in-class combination of speed, sustainability, security, and low fixed fees. And I'm so excited about this. I've been talking about Red Swan for so long. We speculated because they did remove Hedera from its website. If you actually go to their website, don't know why this is taking so long, but here you guys have it. When you go over to their website, down here we used to see, or I think it was, yeah, down here. So down here we used to see it under the strategic partners, but now it's no longer here. And we speculated on like, okay, are they still utilizing Hedera? We don't know what's going on here. Like, what's happening? We went over to Twitter. We asked them. They gave us a little bit of an insight on what they're doing, but we didn't know, right? We did not know. And now we do know. We do know that their plan was to create a massive token studio on Hedera, which I think is great. I think that this is going to streamline a lot of tokenization, especially of real estate on Hedera. This is a major move. I'm so excited about this. And also, by the way, shout out to Mitch over on Twitter. Highly suggest everybody go check him out, because he posted this, huge thread. And I was like, dude, this is incredible, because this did break down everything that happened around this week for Hedera. And the past week has been something very large. If you are an HBAR holder, I mean, you want to make sure that you are focusing on all of these major updates, because I even said it, it's actually hard. Like, as a proud HBAR holder and as a long-term HBAR holder, I've been finding it very hard to keep up with all the Hedera developments. I don't know if I'm the only one that's been thinking this, but like, it's actually been really hard to keep up with all these updates, because it's constant. It's like 24/7. The Hedera team does not stop working. But nonetheless, here we have a few takeaways. So one, we did see everyone loves these. Another governing council member, another huge company that will use and transact on Hedera. We've broken them down. Very large DC. I'm very excited about this, because this is most likely going to blossom out into many other major partnerships. We actually talked about it with Zepsi. Zepsi actually broke this use case down, and man, it's one that's very bullish, and I'm very excited about that one as well. When you see another important milestone has been reached, 9 billion transactions, and this was back on. Like, this is actually wild. This is 9 days ago. 9 days ago, we hit 9 billion transactions. We're about to come up on 10 billion. So you can see how fast things are really changing here. And what can we expect by the end of 2023? 25 billion? Who knows, man? Honestly, it's questionable on how fast things have been moving. We did about 7 billion within the last 5 months. So I mean, yeah, it's kind of right on par with about 20 billion transactions. We'll probably be at around 20 billion transactions by the end of this year, maybe even more. We don't know. I mean, how many? We don't even know if there's going to be another enterprise grade application going live within the next couple months or not. I know that the Coupon Bureau was one that we've been waiting on. That was supposed to launch, but I guess a few things kind of didn't align with that. We're still waiting on that one. That one's a huge one as well. Also, it has become easier to work on Hedera. Key features have been added that will change the game for Hedera, especially for those that are developers. HIP 584. This is Archaea or Archaea, however you guys want to pronounce it. But the key features include cost-free execution, read-only smart contract queries, gas estimation, and transient simulation of read-write operations. So again, more developments happening as well, which is great. And also, there are still plenty places left on the council, yet who will fill them? Check the confirmed members, and then you will understand that only huge companies will sit on that board. Yeah, we are still waiting on a lot more of those GC members. I cannot wait for it. Also, remember the Google hosted latest governing council meeting just happened with Google. I mean, do I really need to tell you guys how large this is? I mean, this is what I mean. Like, when I went back to the original, viewpoints of this video, and I was like, it really is kind of crazy to think about that we have Hedera here working with some of the largest tech leaders around the space. And, people are just overlooking it, or at least they think that this is bearish because these are centralized entities. Like, if anything, this should be very bullish that centralized entities are actually joining a decentralized GC on a decentralized network, promoting the growth of Web3. Like, it's wild to me. And also down here, looking to contribute to the ecosystem and earn whilst doing it, feel free to check and register to the latest Hedera hackathon. There's a lot happening. I mean, the community is growing every single day. The community is becoming much larger every single day. I mean, Hedera is crossing the threshold of almost 300,000 followers. Sorry, not holders. And it's only a matter of time. It really is only a matter of time until we start to see a lot more adoption of Hedera. Remember, we just talked about Karate Combat, if you will. This is a huge project, and guess what? It just got mentioned on the Joe Rogan podcast. First look at Joe Rogan and Karate Combat chairman Bas Rutten, I hope that I'm saying his name right, discussing today how karate puts fans and fighters in the driver's seat, where they belong. Listen closely.
That's great.
So
great.
they listen to the fans, they get 10% of the fighters, and if a lot of people are betting, that could be really good for the fighters as well to get a little bit of extra dough.
I really like the idea of a token that's attached to an organization. That makes me excited about crypto tokens because look at this. Okay, all new Karate Combat app is now live. So that's a great idea. Yep. It's a great idea also that it goes to the fighters as well, 10%. If the UFC implemented something like that, I think that would be very successful. I think it's a very, very good idea.
I think so too.
Probably one of the most unique ideas that I've heard in a long time, and an implementation of crypto token that I think is fantastic. It's great.
And of course, this is built out on Hedera. Like this is huge. This is a big deal. And you know what? Him saying like, the UFC could benefit greatly from something like this. It's going to be every single brand. It's going to take a little bit of time for it to catch on, but every single brand's going to be doing this. We're ahead of the curve. Whether or not people want to, realize it and accept it for what it is, like we are seeing mass adoption of Web3. It's coming in volumes. It's, yes, we're not exactly there just yet, but it's happening. Everything's happening. I mean, like here we have, something that's centered around combat sports, which I absolutely love. You guys know me, I'm a huge fan of UFC. I think that the UFC could benefit greatly from building out something like this. And I do think that they would most likely choose something like Hedera as well because of how, incredible it is. But also, like outside of this, you also have like tokenized real estate, which is spreading into everything. I mean, retail, offices, company, like this is huge, especially for commercial real estate. I mean, we're seeing things happening so rapidly around the space. The statement's very true. 1 year in crypto is essentially 7 years in technology because it's moving every single second, 24/7, 365. And a lot of these networks, like, yeah, you're looking at like 934 TPS right now, but give it some time and we're going to be at 9,300 TPS. And, from there, who knows, 90,000 and maybe even at some point in time, like 900,000. It's a future where, it's questionable on where we are going to go to, because as we look at Hedera, as we look at the ecosystems around these things, like the Hedera ecosystem grows every single day. I mean, you have builders building out some solid use cases. We're seeing, builders coming from Ethereum, from other chains. They want to build here. They understand how incredible it is in terms of the efficiencies that are here on Hedera. And I've been saying it. I've been warning people for years now on HBAR. I started talking about HBAR going all the way back to 2021, and I continue to talk about it today because I think that this is a fundamental piece of the future for Web3. And I do think that Hedera is going to be a leader within that space as well, because so far they already are. And it's only a matter of time until they start to become much, much bigger in the spotlight, because right now they are an underdog. I will say that. HBAR is an underdog in this space. While, again, at the end of the day, when you look at the noise being generated from Hedera, it shouldn't be. So when we do finally catch up to the rest, and I mean catch up to the rest in market cap, then people will realize just how large HBAR actually is. I do think that HBAR is going to be a massive winner in the next run up, and I'm so excited about HBAR. I'm so excited about what's happening on the Hedera ecosystem. You guys already know me. I'm so bullish on HBAR, and I don't even care about the price today. I don't care about the price next week. All I care about is what's happening here. And I could see the adoption. I could see, retail coming in full effect to Hedera. And I could also see outside of retail, enterprises are here. They want to embrace this technology. They know Hedera's name because of all the other enterprises tied to HBAR. Guys, I'm so excited about this. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on because of more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join for Discord down in the description below. As I was up to you all, have a beautiful day or a beautiful night. If you guys are on this beautiful world, it's been Nick. Peace out, guys.